Hello, hello humans, and welcome to the FEE3 showcase of Scions of the Summit. This was previously called Project Summit, but it has been renamed, and it is by Team Contrary. My name is LinkKing7, and I am accompanied by BluechanXD, who is the writer for this project. How's it going, Blue?
It's been pretty good. We've been doing a lot of work since the previous demo, and hopefully everybody's going to enjoy what we have to offer this time around. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Sorry, I'm just trying to click back into the game because, of course, we're going to have a little bit of technical difficulties. So, from what I understand, you guys have sent me the files, and I've been able to play through the first few chapters up until Chapter 5, which I have not seen. The story so far, there are 6 countries in this world, 3 of which are in famine and 3 of which are in prosperity. And these people are in some kind of like political song and dance to try and figure out alliances, keep their countries safe. And we are from a country with Mithrius, who is the lord of a country currently going through famine. And we follow him in his journey to try and figure out their alliances and, you know, really just kind of explore the world while he goes to different countries. And from my understanding is there's going to be a big summit meeting, and we're trying to like lobby with all of these lords in the background while that works. So here we are in Chapter 5. So far we've gone to Granmere, which is his best friend Godric, and now we're going south to Rimalot, which is a more desert nomadic country that operates on trials and trust. So the chapter before this was a little test for Mithrius, and he has succeeded and is now going on to the next chapter to try and meet the Queen, which I've been told is a chapter with lots of puzzles and tests for us. Does that sound pretty accurate so far?
Yeah, pretty much. I think you nailed pretty much all people need to know going into this. We won't spoil too much, especially because we want everyone to see the dialogue for themselves, and we're going to actually talk a little bit during this dialogue section, so we're not going to really voice what the characters are saying. We're just going to use this time to discuss the game a little bit more, just so that people are more interested. And if you want to pay attention to the story, again, we'll be having our next demo out hopefully by the time that this releases.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of interesting mechanics so far from what I've been able to experience. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the next chapters. And my favorite characters have to be this guy over here, Rozeleen. It is a monk. He's got a very interesting recruitable mechanic, which I won't spoil, but he's a monk that gets to whack people with his staff. And he's got a pretty high strength growth. And of course, Joanna just kind of looks good. So we're rolling with her. She's one of my highest leveled units so far. And yeah. Mithrius is struggling a little bit with that strength growth. I won't say why, but for lore purposes, he's only got 10%, but he's pretty fast. So yeah, I think I've got pretty much everything I need to set up going. Some of the interesting features here, it looks like there's going to be a bonus EXP mechanic at some point integrated, right? We don't really have any just yet.
Hopefully, we did originally have some additional EXP you could gain back in Chapter 3X. We might have a couple more X chapters coming up in this upcoming demo. We're still kind of tweaking things here and there and discussing whether we want to keep that same system or use the bonus EXP mechanic. But for right now, again, it's pretty much just up for discussion right now how it's going to go out.
Yeah, and it looks like there are a lot of supports. I read some of them earlier. We won't read all of them now just for the sake of time, but they've done a great job, and a bunch of these characters have actually pretty unique support background music for them. Some of them are different, right?
Yes, I actually added quite a few new ones this time around. It was just 2 support combo themes back in the first demo, but we've added several to these. And the great thing about these supports is that we actually have some characters going up to A support, which is the max support rank you can get during the game itself. And that actually kind of leads into an interesting mechanic that we are hoping to implement during the game at some point. Hopefully this demo as well. It's called A Support Skills, and something that I always wanted to see from Fire Emblem games in general is a little bit more uniqueness when it comes to pairing off characters together. So the plan is to have characters who have A supports with each other gain a special skill or update to their original personal skills once they reach that A support, just so that you can have a unique experience every time that you play the game. So hopefully we'll be able to get that in soon.
Yeah, and there are a lot of supports. I mean, we can just see how much detail looks like is going to go into these. A little bit of a teaser on some of the upcoming characters as well. You know I love to watch,
Yes.
but for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and jump into the chapter here. So, from what I understand, we're going to do some route splits in this game. There's going to be 3 of them. Can you tell us a little bit more about those while we let this dialogue roll here?
Sure thing. So the cool thing is that similar to some of the previous Fire Emblem games in the series, people are probably familiar with route splits where you get to a certain chapter and then you kind of just decide, okay, after I've learned a couple things about certain characters, hey, I want to go down this route over another one. This game actually is a little bit more unique in how we approached the route splits, in that really there's only one default route, and that's all I'm going to call it because I don't like calling routes canon routes, but only one route out of the 3 that we alluded to back in the original demo trailer is going to be available to all players no matter what decisions you make throughout the game. And yes, 2 of those routes are going to be, or they're going to have some additional requirements, and you might have been able to kind of figure out possibly some of those requirements if you played the original demo, because there are certain chapters that might only unlock after certain requirements are met. So maybe those might have something to do with those routes. So, but we'll see. Hopefully people will enjoy each and every one of them. We're probably not going to be putting them out at the same time, and it's going to be a long time before they come out. But hopefully everyone will find each and every one of them enjoyable.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I remember you guys were telling me that the route splits are going to be done in a very tactful way, unlike the way we saw in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, where you have to replay the entire beginning of the game. You will be able to go back to a specific save point and then branch off from that in order to experience the full game without it just being a drag.
Yes. It might be a little bit challenging in some cases, especially because certain choices that you make early on might end up influencing whether you unlock those routes to begin with. I'm not going to say what the requirements are, but I will say that at least one of them is going to be a little bit more lenient than the other. There's also certain actions you can take that might cause a route to not unlock. Not just making choices, but certain actions that you might take. But again, I will not spoil what those things are.
I mean, speaking of actions, it looks like I'm being made to select between 2 specific units here. And this is one of the choices that we're making in the early game. So I don't really know much about these 2 units or what their skills are. I couldn't really see them before the map. So I also don't have any personality on them. But one of them looks more like Erica, and the other one on the left side looks kind of like a short-haired Shamir option. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with Zara, the warrior, who's the one on the left. Is that correct?
Well, either one works. I like both of them. So they both have some interesting support conversations, and hopefully players will be able to see both of their
Oh,
support
never mind. I
chains.
guess Zara was the blue-haired one, and we chose wrong. Okay.
Yeah. How is that the wrong choice?
I wanted the one on the left, but I guess, note to self, the one on the left is Miriam and the one on the right is Zara for future references.
Yes, that is correct. Maybe you'll like Zara, who knows?
Maybe I will. Oh, she's an axe user. You know what? That works out better for me because I do need an axe user.
Yeah, for right now we only have Astra, who is our, I guess, quote-unquote Jagan equivalent right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys went with a speedy general as the Jagan equivalent, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I wanted her to be a little bit different from the standard Jagan, where you just have like a cav unit going around and just kind of destroying everything. So I know that some people sort of notice that, yeah, it's sort of like reining in a little bit of the powerhouse, especially with the item that she has on hand, which is the speed shield, which actually keeps her from doubling. So that kind of helps out other units to, so basically she'll weaken enemies, and so they can come in to take on those kills and get the EXP from them.
Okay, this is interesting. So we only get to bring 5 units to this map, so it seems like it's a rather short and sweet map, but now I have to kind of juggle around some of the things that I had done in the early game.
There's actually kind of a reason for this, and the cool thing about this chapter that's a little bit more unique compared to your standard route map or beat the boss map is that this map actually has multiple ways of approaching it. So you can either do several puzzles, which we'll show off here, or you can just click on those little red squares there and it'll unlock the other character that you didn't choose from that initial choice as a boss. So, but we're obviously not going to make the fight very easy. So let's see how you go about this.
Okay, so this is the red tile that you said is basically like a give up tile for the puzzles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like, I wish I could zoom out to show this map more, but it looks like we've got a room here with a puzzle. There's 2 buttons. And then we have a room here with 3 things that I'm assuming we can interact with. A tree, a sword, and a red thing, and someone looks like who's dead on the floor. We have this room this just looks wild, and 2 chests over here just stuffed in the wall, and a throne room. So, all right, I guess I just gotta jump into these and try and figure them out.
Pretty much. Another cool thing is that not only do the bosses change depending on which character you choose, but also the final puzzle and one of the puzzles in the second room. So we'll have to see if people find those puzzles to be easier or harder depending on which person you decide to choose.
Okay, so it looks like I wasn't able to interact with any of these tiles.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did mention something about health or strength.
It said the mighty and
maybe it has
hardy.
to do with something about it. Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't know
Maybe
if
it's the wrong
this is
tile.
doing anything.
There you go.
May you do right by your might. Fulfill your role. Okay.
What does that mean?
Did I press this one first with the right character, and then is it because Zara has the right stats to do this?
She has the right stats for the bottom tile. The top tile will be the other stats.
Okay, so did I just
she either
randomly
had enough
interact
HP
with the right person then?
So it's not really random per se. It is dependent on a certain stat. But each one is a different stat. So one of them is health and one of them is strength.
Okay. All right, so let's talk with this guy. I guess I can't talk. And I can't examine him either. It's just some dead guy. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Can't talk with this one either. Can I talk with this one?
You gotta talk with the right person, you know? You gotta fulfill your role.
Okay. I'm getting kind of lost on what to do here.
Well, like I said, you gotta fulfill your role.
Okay, maybe I can heal this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Wait, can I talk now? Thank you for healing me. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So there you
now
go.
he vanishes. Okay, who we hasn't talked with the tree? I guess we haven't talked to the... Wait, axe and tree. Maybe we can...
You got it.
Okay. All right, so now all that's left is to get this one. Can I swap places with it?
No.
No. All right, who has not talked? I think my lord hasn't talked to it yet. A worthy wielder. Okay. So you talk to the sword with a sword user.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And now this door opened.
And now your lord and warrior must work in tandem.
Okay. Yeah, the lord and the warrior must work in tandem. So I have a box. And some floor buttons, which I'm assuming means I need to move the box onto the right button.
That is correct.
That's correct. Okay, good. Let's just get everyone.
There's a couple ways you can go about it, but as stated in the hint, you might want to use 2 specific characters.
Yeah, I mean, you said the Lord and the Warrior. We haven't really checked out our Warrior, so let's take a look. She has a talk conversation with Rozeleen, who we don't have on the map, which is unfortunate. I wish we had. And then she has a skill called Apprehend, which pulls an enemy to an adjacent space. No effect diagonally. I wonder how far that works. And one of my favorite skills is the wind swap skill with Ryosuke. It's just so much fun. And he can take an action after it. It's quite interesting. Okay, what is this tile?
It's definitely a dev favorite.
Okay.
So that little square in the bottom left is actually a way to redo the puzzle if you get lost.
Oh, so it's a way that we shouldn't get soft lock then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, we can wind swap with these. Okay, I'm assuming that's a way to cheese the puzzle, so maybe we don't want to do that. I feel like that would be too easy. Okay, so Mithrius has a skill called... He has dash attack and he has getaway. Dash attack isn't doing anything. And getaway is just him moving. So that's not what we want.
You can actually use it to push the boxes, but it's obviously not going to be...
Okay, so apprehend works at 2 range. So what we can do is we could probably apprehend the box
and then you can push
to solve it. Okay, hold on. So we got to move him out of the way and then apprehend. So this can work on allies and enemies, apprehend, or is it just for enemies?
I believe it is just for enemies.
So now we do getaway with Mithrius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of time to do then. But it is very much a push and pull mechanic. So get away.
Yeah, and again, for those who don't want to go and do all this, you do have the option to just skip and fight the boss if you want to. But the cool thing is that you will get access to those chests right there if you complete the puzzle, and you also get an additional reward at the end of the chapter. So it's really up to you what you want to do.
Nice. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the same. For the sake of gameplay, I know the puzzles are always cool, but I do want to show off some of the fights because I know you guys are pretty proud of the boss fights. So do you want to talk a little bit about the boss fights? Let's do the give up mechanic and see how this works.
Yeah, so we actually made a couple changes regarding the bosses. Initially, we had a mechanic where several of them would have this skill that allowed them to have multiple health bars, but since there really wasn't a good way to show that off visually, we actually decided to go with a new skill called Tenacity. So you can see right there it has a 2 charge. Pretty much what it does is it negates, or not really negates, but reduces damage by 80%. And with every attack that's done against those units, it will reduce that charge. So once you attack her twice, the characters will end up being able to do regular 100% damage. Okay. And it does recharge.
And this is a pretty beefy boss, too.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a shield as well, reduces damage taken by 10% on top of that
So she's
80%.
taking very little damage.
Yeah, javelin and a reinforced lance, so you can't really do
And she's
much.
also very fast too.
Yep. 17 speed. I don't think anyone can go toe-to-toe with that. She pretty much doubles my entire party. I guess I gotta work my way down there. Unfortunate. I wanted to unlock those chests. I guess we can't do it.
Unfortunately, you would have to complete the puzzle to do that.
Well, I guess she doesn't double Joanna, so maybe Joanna can do some damage. Some rescue drop shenanigans. Let's get over there and see how it's done. So basically what we could do, if we really don't want to deal with the puzzles, is I could immediately just give up and walk right up to the boss. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Again, for those who don't find the puzzles interesting or don't think that the rewards are worth it, you can just skip and do the boss. But again, the boss is not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm. And then what do we get if we just do the puzzles in this chapter?
So it'll unlock that little room right there with the chest that you can open up with either Ryosuke or if you have any chest keys. You'll also get an additional reward choice at the end of the chapter, so the queen will give you either money or a special item.
Oh, the boss also moves.
Yes.
I mean, that's better for me because, I'm not going to be in the way of the throne, but I kind of was not ready for that. So, all right, let's form up over here and try and figure this out. Okay, Ryosuke doesn't get doubled either. This might be doable. Oy, that's rough.
Yeah, you might want to move a little bit closer and
yeah, maybe just a little bit. And then we got to peel off that shield with the damage mitigation that she's got too. I really don't want her killing anyone, which it sounds like she's going to do. How much speed does Zara have?
she gets doubled.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not an easy boss.
Okay, wait. If we use the restrainer,
I don't think she can get
is that
restrained.
gonna work? Nope. Okay, that's not good. All of my units get one shot. How am I supposed to win this?
That's for you to figure out. Did say it was not going to be easy.
This might just be a game over here.
I will say there is one character who could make this a little bit easier.
Do I have them?
Yes, you do. But not on the map.
Well, that's not helpful. I might have just enough damage to do this.
You actually can debuff with Ryosuke, so...
Yeah, he needs to hit this, though. Okay, good. Oh, huge! And he dodged. All right, can we hit this?
Can you hit it? We'll see.
No!
That's a problem.
Okay, no, this is okay. This is okay. Oh,
That's the problem.
am I getting one shot here? Oh, never mind. That's fine. We're totally okay. Wait.
But you get doubled.
Well, unfortunate, but that means I can just take her down the next turn. That's okay. We did lose my favorite unit, though, and that's unacceptable. Yep, and now she should go down here. That's a rough boss.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
I
challenging,
guess
but...
it is one roundable, but I guess we do want the bosses to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is rough. I did lose a unit. I'm not happy about that. Not even a level up from that? Damn. That's so sad. Unfortunate. Well, I guess that's the end of the chapter. That was actually pretty fun. I do enjoy the like multiple approaches that we can do. The fact that it's just one boss with a couple of units is interesting. I would have expected like a more drawn out fight if it was just like a give up mechanic other than just a quick boss kill. And then so you really just don't get anything for killing the boss. It's just a quick speed up mechanic. Is that how this works?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just for those who want to kind of skip through this chapter and not have to think too much about puzzle solving or doing any of the other things that might be considered tedious by some people. But again, you do get additional rewards for doing those puzzles if you really wanted them.
So I guess the intended way to clear this chapter is to do the puzzles to get the rewards.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, that's interesting. And so how far is I know you guys said there's going to be a new demo coming out after this. How far does that go? We're on chapter 5 right now.
Yeah, so this is chapter 5, and we are hoping to get all the way up to chapter 9 and maybe something a little bit extra after chapter 9 for those who end up unlocking certain additional things.
Ooh, okay, so there's secrets that we need to find within the game to unlock extra secrets. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier on, some of those secrets might be tied to the routes, so maybe want to try unlocking those.
So you have to unlock the secrets to get certain things within the routes, or are the routes locked and you have to unlock them through the secrets?
You unlock them through the secrets. So again, I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say that maybe those X chapters might have something to do with at least one route.
Okay. And I remember, I mean, you guys make it pretty fair. Like the X chapters are highlighted in red for the certain mechanics that you need to do, or it's always very implied from the text because this is a very story-driven game. So anyone who's reading should be able to unlock all of the X chapters. I certainly didn't have a problem getting 3X, which is one of them. And then I'm assuming there will be more after that.
Yes, there will be several, and more than one actually in this next demo. So hopefully y'all can unlock those.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. Anything else you want to say before we kind of just let the rest of this story play out?
Honestly, I think that's just about it. That wraps up most of what we have to share at the moment. Again, we're really hard at work with the chapters going forward. Again, it's not going to be up until the summit just yet. That's probably going to be our next update coming up next year. But this is probably the next biggest arc of the story, and we're actually going to meet several important or key players in the narrative in this demo. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been really fun to see, and the writing is quite detailed. As you guys can see, the story just keeps going on and on and on, and there's a lot of world building focused around sort of Mithrius, Feline, and all of the different sort of ideas that they go through and things that pass through their mind and what they're thinking about. Like, the characters are really well developed and fleshed out. There's quite a few interesting story twists, even just so early on in the game. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. Here we see them talking about sort of alliances with Rimalot. We saw that with Granmere. We saw allusions to Kyofu no Shima. Even some of the weapons, like if you examine them, they have labels on where they come from, which I also thought was quite interesting, that you guys have also assigned weapons to like certain countries. And there are certain elements with that anyone can use the weapons, but it's different in the way that they're, I guess, associated with those countries, and how it's an expression, I guess is the word I'm looking for those countries.
Yeah, they're also kind of supposed to be, like you said, an expression of each of the countries. So something like Rimalot is going to have more uses with its weapons. So you'll kind of see that with different types of weapons going forward. I know a lot of the Lava Forge weapons, which are the equivalent for Zamagora, are a little bit stronger, kind of probably the equivalent to silver weapons from Fire Emblem. So there's a lot of differences between the different types of weapons that you can use from each of the countries. Another cool thing is we actually do have, I'm going to call them like standard weapons that don't come from specific countries that you can actually purchase in between chapters through the market. So that's something that unlocks during this next section. So if you really wanted to purchase items in between chapters and you don't really have shops in between, you can use that instead, just to make sure that you're stocked up.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good. It seems like the home base kind of menu is pretty well developed and fleshed out, so I'm not worried about things from that regard. But other than that, I think this has been pretty interesting and quite fun. I did enjoy the twist on the chapter and the multiple different objectives that you can do and the different ways of rewarding things. It's more of a time versus reward, and it looks like, that's that for the end of the chapter. So thanks for joining me, Blue, and thanks for letting me showcase this off, and I hope to see all of the other amazing games that are being showcased in FEE3. And like we said earlier on in this showcase, if you guys would like to experience this game, there should be a link to the demo down in the description below.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have everything ready by then. We're getting pretty close to completing it as of this point in the recording, so hopefully we'll have everything done by then.
All right, this has been Linking7. Thanks for joining me, Blue, and we'll see you guys all later. Peace.